Hello, beautiful creatures of the world, and welcome back to Coffee with Kerri-Lynn. It's a beautiful day in the far north of Maine, up along the Canadian border, in the crown of Maine, and I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you are as well. I can flash the logo all I want. It's Maxwell House in here. It's not the real deal. I have a barn. I do barn chores. I need a cup with the lid so that the shit don't get in my cup when I'm working in the barn. I did a short on that over a year ago. It's called Broke Bitch Tips from the Homestead. Go watch it. I'm a funny girl in my off time. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, thank you for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate each and every one of my subscribers, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart because you are the real MVPs on this channel. You guys watch my shenanigans just about every single day of the week, and you are boosting me up in the algorithm doing so. If you are not a subscriber, please think about subscribing. And if you have subscribed, thank you so much because I have earned your subscription and I totally appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down. Any attention on YouTube's good attention. Comment in the comment section below. We have been having some great conversations in the comment section on my video. I actually read each comment and I comment back. Also, people are starting, subscribers and commenters are starting to have conversations amongst themselves in the comment section. When I started this channel just over a year ago, that was my goal. I wanted to build a community. I am not a person that screams, there's breaking news for attention. I want to come up with a solution for the problem. I like having great conversations with a variety of people. You don't have to agree with what I say. I don't have to agree with what you say, but we need to exchange ideas, and we can do that in the comment section like grown-ups. And it's just such a refreshing, thing for me because out of all the comments that we get very few people who are Karens. We get a lot of people who, you know, you can meet halfway with your ideas and your thoughts. And we get a lot of critical thinkers. We get a lot of people that think outside the box. That's why you're here on this channel, because you are an individual. And maybe somebody in the comment section has a situation, has an issue, and they're not quite able to figure out the solution. Well, other subscribers to this channel are going through those comments and they are trying to help the people that need help with whatever it is that they need help with. So I want to thank every single one of you that are doing that in the comment section. I also want you guys to know that if you have a YouTube channel and you subscribe to my channel, now you have to have an active YouTube channel, which means you put up 2 videos a month. And you subscribe to my channel, I will subscribe back to your channel. I think that content creators have to help each other out a little bit. I've never been a person that had a little bit of success, then pulled the ladder up behind me. I can't stand that. I like to help everybody. And if you have an active YouTube channel, 2 videos a month, that's all you got to upload, I will give your channel a shout out. I don't want anything from you. Don't worry about it. I don't want you shouting my channel out. Doesn't really matter. I just want to help you out. I don't care if you have more subscribers and more videos than me. If it's content that is good and that I think is geared toward my audience, and you are, most importantly, an active channel, you're going to get the shout out. And today, I would like to shout out Bella's Whisper Farmstead. Great videos of livestock over there. So go on over to Bella's Whisper Farmstead and give them a watch, give that video a like. Maybe you even want to subscribe to Bella's Whisper Farmstead. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, my social media is in the description below. I have a Rumble channel. We're going to do Rumble exclusives coming up because I can't ask you on this channel or on the audio-only platforms, how you feeling today? Are you good? Are you under the weather? Oh, you don't really feel good? Well, this is what I do when I don't feel. I can't do that here. I can't really talk about herbalism. I cannot talk about anything to do with holistics. I can't talk about living close to nature in ways that I want to on these platforms. I can't talk about seed oils, diet and exercise, and building your immune system. So we're doing all that over on my Rumble channel. It's Coffee with Kerri-Lynn, no hyphen, Coffee with Kerrilynn. Over on Rumble. Give me a follow. Those videos are coming, and hopefully we can find solutions to people's problems over on Rumble as well. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, let's talk about H5N1 today. Not so much that it's happening. We know it's happening. We know it's transmissible between species. It's now jumping into the human species. We know that the sciencey people like to mess around with things. So we know it's a very robust avian flu. We know that we have problems in this country. We know that we have cattle that have it. We know that we have dairy cow that have it. We know that a major, I think one of the largest poultry egg places, farms in the country, did a big culling last week. We know that a farmer in Texas he's got conjunctivitis with H5N1 in it. So we know these things are happening. We know what that is going to mean. It's going to mean shortages. It's going to start looking like it was 4 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, and we need to find solutions. Now, we have avian flu every single year. If you are a backyard farmer, if you are a backyard chicken person, if you have a homestead, if you have a farm, you know birds migrate. And when they fly over your property, they poop on your property. And your birds could get into it. If you are just beginning your homestead lifestyle adventure or your backyard chicken adventure or whatever it may be, here's a tip for you guys. We live where birds migrate north and they migrate south. And we also have a very large bald eagle that flies over our house constantly, and we have hawks in the area. So what we do in the spring, while we do have poultry that we let free range in the summer, we let them free range. When the leaves have a beautiful canopy on them, they go into the small woodlet that they're allowed into, and they do their free ranging under the cover of the trees so that the hawks and the eagles and the migrating birds, the birds flying around, you know, it's not really a direct contact, so to speak. They have a canopy cover. In the spring and in the fall, when the birds are migrating, we keep them in a roofed run. So if you're new to chickening and you build your chicken run, just put a roof on it. There you have it. And 99.9% of your bird flu problems are going to be solved just keeping your chickens under cover. You don't have to keep them in your barn. You can just cover the run. Cover the run with plastic. 5 mil plastic, 3 mil plastic, it doesn't matter. Just cover the roof and cover the run with a makeshift roof, a little tarp. Maybe you got a tarp hanging around. Do that, and the migrating birds will not poop where your birds are because you'll have a covering. Another thing we do during bird flu season is we don't let anybody from outside the farm into our barn. We don't let you back near where the lovely little animals are. We can't do that. We do let the grandchildren back there because they have to learn, and we do let family back there, but we do a foot bath. I have a pan of water, and I put Dawn dish soap in it. I have put peroxide in it before, a little bit of bleach at times. It just depends on what's on hand in the barn. You wash your feet before you go in the barn. It is a very important sanitary practice during bird flu season. And because you never know, you're outside, people are walking parking lots and they're going from the store to their car, then they pop in by the house and want some eggs and try to follow you out to the barn. You don't know what's on the bottom of their shoes. You, the farmer, could be walking around your property, and I'm sure you wouldn't, but I mean, you could step into wild bird poop and track it into your barn. So those are just a couple things that we do during bird flu season here on our homestead, and we've never had a problem in all the 14 years that we've been homesteading with bird flu. And cooler heads prevail. Again, what I'm most worried about is the shortages. like the 2020 thing at the stores for the big commercial farms, having their herds and their flocks culled out. It's going to be shortages of things. And that's what scares me the most. We have a opportunity here, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. We have a small window between what we see that the direction that this H5N1 is going, what the farms are doing when their livestock is contracting it, and what's going to happen at the grocery store. So we can kind of see it. We've seen the trailer to this movie before, haven't we? And it'll happen again. Pantry building. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, you need to get extra food into your house. Absolutely. Even if you have a homestead, even if you grow your garden, you process your own meat. A lot of us are such tiny homesteads that we don't produce anywhere near 75% of the food that we eat. We have a large family. I build a pantry. My son and my daughter-in-law build a pantry at their house for their children. I build a pantry for everybody. They build a pantry for their specific needs. And it works out really well because we interchange. Like if I'm short of something and I know they're coming over for dinner, I'm like, hey, do you have this? And vice versa. It just works. We trade off of our pantry in between each other. But when times get really, really rough, I have my pantry and my gardening practices and my livestock raising can sustain all 7 of us when it gets really rough and rowdy out there. Now we've also built up relationships with other local farmers, other homesteaders that do what we don't do, and we do some things that they don't do. And so we are a community up here that, we function quite well, actually. And if you have a skill that I don't have, and I have something that you need or that you can't produce on your homestead, we're very happy to be part of an intertrading community. We do it now, and it's gonna happen when there's shortages. So that's part of our pantry building method, that we also make friends and we make connections and we network with other people doing what we're doing. So if somebody falls short, we're all here to help each other out. We all got each other's backs up here, and that's what's important. It's community. Now, if you've been following my channel since January, you're doing the 5-can challenge, aren't you? Just nod your head yes, because I'll be very disappointed if you have been watching my channel since January and have not started your 5-can challenge. We have a lot of subscribers that have beefed up their 5-can challenge, and they're now on 10 or 15 cans a week. If you want to participate in our 5-can challenge, it is very simple. Go do your grocery shopping. Leave the cookies on the shelf. Leave the potato chips on the shelf. Leave the dip on the shelf. And go get yourself 5 extra cans of something healthy that your family will eat in times of trouble. Then you're going to take those 5 extra cans, you're going to put them in the back of your pantry, and you're going to forget about them until you need them. Now, if you've been doing the 5-can challenge with me since January, you've got a nice looking pantry right now, don't you? So now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start rotating your pantry stock. Meaning, whatever you buy this week, you make sure you guys are putting it to the back of your pantry shelves, pulling all the other cans forward so that you're always consuming the oldest products first. That way, when there's a shortage in the store, you'll have a fresh pantry and you won't have to worry too much, now will you? One thing we do here on the homestead once a week. Now, I know people have different dietary needs, and you might not be able to do this once a week, but at least try to do it once a month. We all know people are always yelling at me. There's so much sodium in the canned meat. There's so much sodium in canned vegetables. I know. And when you need to consume this because there's nothing in the market because the S hit the fan, you're not going to care. You're actually going to need that salt. And so it really doesn't matter. When there is no flour at the store, you're not going to worry about not having organic flour. You're just going to be grateful you have flour. we live a very strict, no sugar added lifestyle. I don't add sugar to anything that we consume here on the homestead, except on cheat day. Um, loving cheat day. And that's once a week. Sometimes once every other week. Just depends on what we're doing and how fast we can do it. But generally, when we have to go do our once a week shopping, we're out. It gets late. You need to eat. So you got to eat at the crappy fast food places or even restaurants. Restaurants don't use the best ingredients. My pantry, shock and awe, everybody. I do not have all organics in my pantry. We eat all our organics fresh. It's all in our fresh food. And building an organic pantry is super duper expensive. So I don't do that. I just buy the cheapest everything and I get it on my shelves. Because the whole point and purpose when there's shortages in the market is to have food. And it's really not going to matter when the shortages come like they did 4 years ago and you can't get this and you can't get that. You're not going to be picky. And you're going to need the salt content that's in those cans because salt is a mineral that your body actually needs. So we have what we call a pantry night here on the homestead. It's once a week where everybody at the house at the time, sometimes the kids are here, sometimes they're not, grabs some produce, some product out of the pantry, puts it on the table and says, what do you think you could do with that? And we have come up with some amazing meals here on the homestead, and then we've come up with meals that were completely inedible. But it's good practice skills. Only use the cans and boxes you have in your pantry storage. Does a couple things. It keeps your skills fresh. And it also helps you cycle out or rotate the products in your pantry so that, like I said, when it all hits the fan, you've got a fresh pantry for a period of time. On pantry night, we do not use the fresh produce that we have on hand. It's strictly what's in the pantry. So we're going to be doing some segments on that, cooking from your pantry. We're also going to be, as the weather warms up, a lot of exciting things happening here on the homestead. We're going to be doing campfire cooking because campfire cooking is a heck of a lot different than cooking on your stove. So we're going to be doing some of that. And hopefully we'll get our lovely audience to be able to survive anything and be able to make an actual cool meal when S hits the fan instead of popping open a can of Chef Boyardee. There's nothing wrong with Chef Boyardee. You need that too. Because you're going to need your proteins and your fats that are in those cans. So that's a thing that we do. And that's what I'm really worried about as far as the N5H1 goes. It's the shortages that are going to come into play very shortly. So you got a small window of opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, to build up your pantry. Don't do things with fear. Don't worry about what's coming. We all know what's coming. You've seen the movie before. You've lived it before. Is it going to be worse? Most likely. It's what these people do. Is N5H1 something to get hysterical about? Not at this time. Because we don't live in fear, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world. Not when we're prepared. You can prepare for anything. You prepare not just for a rerun of what happened a few years ago, but you also prepare for bad weather. You prepare for hurricanes, snowstorms. You prepare for a sudden, unexpected layoff in your household. What if your 2-income household has to be a 1-income household? Hard enough to pay your bills as it is with 2 incomes, with the food storage. That's one thing that you're not worrying about. You're not worrying about where your kids' next meals are going to come from or where your next meal is going to come from. You can think outside of the box, critically, on a full stomach. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, thank you for joining me today. And as always, carpe diem, because no one promised you a tomorrow.